welcome to Sound Healing for the Stress Professional. My name's Mackenzie, and if you are new to me, I am the founder of My Sōlchemy and a hypnotherapist. And I got my start over on TikTok talking about all things spiritual, but it has evolved. My platform has evolved tremendously just through working with people one-on-one. And I've really started identifying some things through my sessions through both intuitive healing and hypnotherapy that one of the biggest things that people come to me for is they just feel like they lack purpose. And they're really looking for that bigger mission, but they're really not quite sure how to energetically align themselves with that purpose. And one of the things that I've done over the years is I was really stuck in a rut for a long time, and it just felt like a lot of the things that I was doing just would not work, would not move things forward. And it really came into my awareness in just one moment. And I just felt like there was something unseen about myself, some form of energy that I was stuck in. And it wasn't until I started working with my energy through the power of energy healing, hypnotherapy, that I really started unveiling all of these different aspects of self that really were keeping me stuck in these low vibrational patterns. So, with that, what was happening, I was, finding myself in jobs that really wasn't serving me. I was finding myself just really getting outcomes in all areas of life that were not very ideal. So when I started applying these specific modalities with my clients, that's when I really started to see them blossom and move into different things I never imagined they would move into, from new jobs, entrepreneurship type ventures. And that's how my Sōlchemy really came to life. So now it is really my mission to start highlighting other professionals that share my same values, share my same mission, because there's so many different modalities that are available to us that are really outside of the box. And I want to start sharing their stories and really get ourselves out there, because people deserve so much better in their lives. We're really coming into a place where we're asking the deeper questions. We're coming into the awareness that there's so much more to us than just showing up for 9 to 5s. And we really want to start expressing ourselves in a true, authentic way. But how do we do that? Well, I'm going to show you how you do that. And today I'm going to introduce to you Katie. She is an incredible human being. She's a professional sound healer. And I'm really excited for her to join and stay inside of My Sōlchemy, because she really has some powerful things to say. And she's also very, very good at sound healing. So I'm really excited to bring her to you today. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to introduce you to Katie. And then we're going to go a little bit into how stress impacts us on a professional level and how it is preventing you from really maximizing expressing yourself in a workplace and also reaching your goals, and what we can do through the power of sound frequency, bring you into an energetic alignment so you can start reaching those higher goals that you've always thought were out of reach for you. Then we're going to have a complimentary sound bath with Katie. And if you stay to the very end, you will have a special invitation to ways you can work with us, including access to the club inside of My Sōlchemy. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Katie. I'm going to go ahead and actually stop sharing and allow you to go ahead and just speak. So if you can go
See our
ahead and
faces.
if you could go
Awesome.
ahead and just introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me here today. As Mackenzie said, my name's Katie. I am a somatic activated and sound practitioner. So I am someone who uses different energy modalities of movement, of breath, of meditation, and very importantly, of sound and vibration, all with the idea of us embodiment, to arrive in our bodies, to feel ourselves exactly where we're at, all for that self discovery, for inner healing, and for empowerment. So thank
Right.
you for joining us today. Whether you are someone here who's, interested in some of this work, you've heard about it before, you're looking for something fun, maybe you're feeling a little stuck in where you're at, or maybe you are just like a total skeptic and you're like, what is this weird stuff? I got to learn more about it. That's great. I've been in all of those areas. Um, my story, I was a corporate professional for 15 years. I loved it. It was exactly what I wanted to do. I did all the things and I climbed the ladder. It was go, go, go. And then something shifted inside of me. And it was one of those things that you feel, but you can't really explain. It's hard to assign a reason or logic to it. And I
Right.
started having a lot of those symptoms of stress. That's something that I think we can all relate to. We know what that feels like in our body and our
Right.
mind. Um, and so sound has been one of those tools that we find we can use. It's a non-invasive therapeutic tool that just really allows our body to relax and to
Mhm.
tune into that natural healing process. So
Right.
Mackenzie, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I really want to highlight something you just said too, because you mentioned you were feeling a lot of resistance in yourself. And that's one thing that I really want to point out because I feel like we've really been conditioned to sort of just deal with that. And especially when we're in a system where we believe that in order to make our ends meet, in order to pay the bills and do all the things that, like yourself, you were stuck in a corporate job for so long. And just to be transparent, Katie and I have known each other for a very, very long time. And we haven't necessarily been in touch over that, the full period of our friendship. But I remember when you were in your corporate job, the level of stress that you carried with you. And I could relate to it so much being in medical device sales. But it was like my logical mind could not fathom this idea of getting out of that. It just felt like it was so scary. It was so far away. It was not something that was really realistic.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until I stopped that resistance. And when I tell you, the level of stress being stuck in a job that I could not stand was unreal. In fact, I remember I woke up this one night and I thought I was having a heart attack. Like it rolled me out of my bed and onto the floor. And I'm like, I can't live my life like this anymore. Like my body isn't feeling so much resistance to this change. And fast forward years later, when I was already an entrepreneur selling plush toys for over 5 years, but it was like, there's just feels like there's something else, something else, something else. And I said to my husband, I go, I think I want to start selling some sessions to do past life healing. And he's like, oh my God, please don't do that. Because in his mind, it was so outside of where we should be and what we should do. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it. And I started selling these sessions really where my passion and excitement lied. And that's how this whole thing got built. And it was like I followed that small little like fire and it really grew into something bigger. And that's exactly what I've seen you do, Katie, is I remember you saying years ago, before I even knew what sound was, you're like, I want to do something with sound. And I'm like, well, do
I
it.
just gotta chill. It's wild. I
Mhm.
remember you calling me out on it. My energy was just all over the place, and you were like, "Whoa." Just talking to you about things, and you even gave me some like little past life readings and, brought forth some things in me
Yeah.
and probably called me out like, "Have you considered sound?"
Right, right.
Mhm.
So what was that like for you when you finally did jump ship? Like, what was that process?
Yes, and to key in on jump ship, it you probably can relate to this. It's like jump cliff, where
Okay.
it feels like when you go against sometimes that logic side, and you're like, wait a minute, like that's protecting me. I thank you, logic, for bringing me in and making sure that I'm following the right path to for my own safety, security, and success. But finding a way to kind of sort of test the waters and start to use some of these in a very, calculated risk way to determine, is this something that can help me and support me? And so my transition,
Mhm.
ultimately, my story is it took me 3 years to leave my corporate job. It was a big
Wow.
cliff jump
Wow,
off
I
of
didn't
it.
know that. Okay.
Yeah. So this started early on for me where these things started to bubble up.
Mhm.
But my journey said, let me talk to and explore all these different things. And in fact, it probably would have involved me listening to a video like this and to say, well, wait a minute, what about sound healing? Is that something I can use to support figuring out my true alignment, my energetic alignment with where I'm supposed to go? And
Right.
so it took me diving into a number of different energy fields. And what one of the things I really enjoyed about sound, and we'll get into this, is a little bit of the science of it. I'm someone that is loves math and science. I rooted into it. And so for us to understand that all things are energy, all like we know the physical energy, we have our electric field, electromagnetic, we have our gravitational fields, but even our thoughts, our energy, it all
Right.
matters. And so to
Mhm.
use energy to align ourselves has been a really exciting thing to explore as more and more science actually comes out about it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure your journey was probably very long too. You know, you
Yeah.
started a plush toy company
It's
and
a
here
long
you are today, you know.
Right. And I think a key takeaway, this isn't about us encouraging people to jump ship from their jobs at all.
Agreed.
This just happens to be me and Katie's journey
Mhm.
in terms of really finding a place in the world where we can express those really big inner soul desires and apply it in a practical way in life, right? We're still human. We have bills to pay, we got kids to take care of, but really bringing ourselves forward in a way that our body doesn't constantly resist what is happening in our external world. And so a lot of people, I would say, really need to have these type of modalities so they can bring forward those authentic selves in the workplace in their current position too, right? We don't need a world full of every single person's an entrepreneur. It's a little stressful. I don't know if it's for everybody. And that's great, but there is a way for where you are now to become energetically aligned and sort of open those doors for that authenticity to come forward, because that's where you're going to start reaching your higher goals and finding that more bigger purpose where you are right here, right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is going to be really super quick of discussing how stress impacts us in a professional workplace. So there's my little guy. Okay. So what is stress exactly? Stress is a psychological response that can trigger a fight or flight response. And this is exactly where we want to start getting away from, because we very much have been taught and conditioned that we have to force, right? We have to keep this momentum going. The harder you work, the better. But really that's very opposite of what we should be doing. And when we start creating a calm environment for ourselves, specifically our body, that's when we become this instrument for higher wisdom, higher creativity. And we want to get in a place of presence, which I'll talk about in a moment. But it is wild how absolutely stressed everybody is. And we have, and you can look this up online, but the American Psychological Association talks about how 77% of people report physical symptoms from stress. And I think that this is an absolute crisis. This is us internally, our bodies, our soul telling us that something is wrong. And if it's showing up as symptoms, then that is just showing you right now that a change does have to be made. And this does affect us in a professional workplace, because when we're overloaded with stress, I don't think I really have to preach too much about the negative consequences of stress. We know that, but it does impair decision making, reduces your focus, your concentration, and it also disconnects you from yourself. And it becomes really difficult for you to be able to immerse yourself in that critical creative problem solving position. So no matter what your role is, when you start disconnecting yourself, you're also disconnected from your role. And that's really not going to get you where you want to go, whether that's being a leader of a team, maybe you want to get promoted or get into those higher attractor patterns for financial abundance to come in. We have to start dealing with our stress. And this was a really huge lesson for me in terms of learning to manage stress. And I want to apply this to really what my big mission is, because I really do believe that we are these infinite creative beings. You know, our moment here in life is really just a small glimpse of where our soul has been through all periods of time. And we now are coming into the state of awareness where we're realizing this deep potential that resides inside of us. And I want everyone to tap into that, because there's so much untapped potential that the world needs. And every single person that taps into that divine leader that you're meant to be has massive impact on the world around them. in energetic ways that you have no idea. So we all have to start doing the work. And the thing that we have to move out of is a constant chronic state of fight. So this is classic Joe Dispenza one, but we have to get in a state of presence. Our mind, our body, our emotional, our energetic bodies has to become in this full alignment, because then we become this channel, this vessel, like I mentioned earlier, for higher wisdom, higher creativity. It's almost like these ideas that start getting downloaded into us don't even come from us, they just come through us. And that comes from being in a state of presence. And even subconsciously speaking, what happens when you're in fight or flight? Why do we get stuck in fight or flight? And it's specifically for survival, because we are wired to keep our physical bodies alive. So what happens is that the mind starts attaching itself to negative past experiences. It takes that information and it throws it into an improbable and unlikely future. And now what happens is we get stuck in these looping patterns, these looping thought patterns. And then what happens there? Anxiety, stress, all the bad stuff is going to happen. But you can't create from that state of mind. And the body starts getting all anxious. So what we need to do is we really need to find a way that at a cellular level that we are communicating with our nervous system, our body, our cells, our DNA, that we are actually safe. Getting a negative email from someone does not impact our safety, but yet that's how we've trained our body. So for example, I mean, how many of you have gotten an email and it's like the blood rushes from your head? You're like, oh no. Okay, that's fight or flight. We want to be able to get that email and be like, no, it's fine. Like, I can handle any problem. Let's get back into that infinite creative self and let's problem solve. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I kind of went through these things right here, but we make massive consciousness expansion and soul growth opportunities for ourselves in a state of presence. And we want to apply that to wherever we are professionally so we can reach those goals and really find much more purpose in what we're doing. So now I'm going to hand this off to Katie, because sound is so much more than just, being calm. This really does affect us at a cellular level. And this goes right back to everything that I'm saying, because sound can actually move you out of that fight or flight and into a state of presence. And it's been shown to reduce cortisol levels, create focus, and improve attention span. But is there anything here, Katie, that you would like to elaborate that we have not covered yet?
Yeah, that was a beautiful explanation of why we really need to be present and come into our bodies. And
Mhm.
sound is one great way to do that. On the Sōlchemy platform, you'll probably find a lot of different amazing tools that we can use. Um, so one thing I would just add to it is, there's this idea of entrainment, or that brainwave synchronization. So when we have the sound reach our body, hits our eardrum, works into that auditory nerve in our brain, runs through our brain circuits, it lowers our brain waves into that nice, relaxed theta state. That activates that parasympathetic nervous system within us that allows us to, you probably heard the term rest and digest. It allows us to really let the walls down and let our body do what it does naturally to heal and to really just meet ourselves. We kind of limit all those distractions that come in, which are great. I love a good distraction. I love scrolling on my phone. I love a little glass of wine. That's great.
Me
But
too.
when right, amen. But when we do that as a result of stress, that's not healing. That's not the path to really finding ourselves and our authenticity.
Right.
Um, so a ton of benefits to doing this. Certainly when we're relaxed, we reduce that cortisol level. We start to secrete all those neurotransmitters in our brain, our serotonin and our dopamine. Um, but ultimately, when we find the opposite of those stress symptoms, not only do we feel calm, but we often find reduced pain, better sleep, improved focus, creativity, better mood, more energy. A ton of amazing benefits to this. And one of my favorites is really finding that practice for yourself to let the walls down, meet the unknown, and tap into truly our innate wisdom and power that we have within all of us. So I think that's about it on kind of the sound piece
Great.
of it.
Yeah,
I
that's
could keep
awesome.
going forever,
And
but
I just think there's so much more to explore with sound. I feel like
mhm,
we have barely even tapped the true potential of healing and balancing at a cell level,
mhm,
sound frequency. And in fact, just kind of a side note, which I thought was really cool that it was kind of perfect timing that I saw this, but I had a TED Talk promoted to me recently, and it was about this woman talking about how they have found with specific cancers even, there's a connection to very specific frequencies that have been shown to balance and shrink tumors. And I'm like, that is just so cool. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yes.
imagine if we knew exactly from a society when we have a specific illness or imbalance or even emotional mental disorder to listen to that very specific frequency and just like balance it and be done with it. I mean, it's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to take my video off. Katie is going to go ahead and get the sound bath started, and she will run it for about 15 minutes. And please stay till the end because we have some special invites for you and really cool ways to work with us. So I'll leave it there.
Awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie.
You're welcome. Okay.
All right. So as we get started, um, you're invited here to just find a comfortable position for yourself. So I'd invite you to either be seated in a chair or you're welcome to lie down. Really find any position that your spine can be long and your body can just relax. So taking that time to set yourself up and do whatever you need to do. There is no wrong way. And if you are seated, please place your feet flat onto the ground, connect yourself down to the earth. So our intention for our mini sound bath today really is just going to be to relax and just to receive the vibrations. It's as simple as that. That's how we're going to find that presence today. Those two things, we just call that to mind and just come right into our breath. So before we get started, I'm going to do a little bit of a sound test for you. One moment here. All right, so just checking the sound levels for yourself at home. If you need to make any adjustments, you're welcome to do that. That's just by clicking the little audio button and adjusting any features if you need to.
It sounds great on my end, Katie.
Awesome. Perfect. And for those of you who maybe want to check out and see what's going on down here, I'll just give you a quick little shot just to see. We've got our quartz crystal bowls here. We got 4 of them, and they're all attuned to a different frequency to entrain with your body. One thing I like to call out as you're getting settled is that in every sound experience, these are truly unique to the individual. So if you've never done sound before, or if you've been to a lot of them, this is a great reminder. And just know that just like you go to sleep and have a dream at night, you may experience something different. You may feel a sensation in a different part of the body. You may get into a beautiful meditative state, see some colors, or you may simply fall asleep and just find a restful place for yourself. Please know that whatever you experience, you're doing it right and you're in a safe space. So the flow of today is we're going to do a little breathing exercise. You're going to hear the sounds of these bowls. We're going to end with a moment of silence, and then you'll hear the sound of my voice to guide us all out of this experience together. So as we get started, just taking a deep breath in through the nose all the way down to your belly. And just let that all out. Today we start with a Chinese proverb I'll share with you. And it goes, stress is who you think you should be, and relaxation is who you are. So just take this moment Come right into your body. Turn your lens inward and just start to notice how you're doing today. What's the quality of my body, of my mind? What's the quality of my breath as I breathe in and breathe out? You can just invite yourself to let go of maybe anything that came before this class today. You can let go of anything that may come after this, any future that doesn't even exist yet. Just come right back into your body. And in our practice today, as you come into your body, come right back to this breath. Together, we'll take a couple deep breaths. We'll breathe in through our nose for 5 counts and out through our mouth. So together, taking a deep breath in. Let it all out. Good. We'll do that again. Breathing in through the nose. And let it all out. We'll do that one last time. Inhale through the nose. Holding at the top your deepest breath of the day. And let it all out. Empty your lungs here. Just arrive. As you return back to a nice, easy, neutral breath, you can just invite yourself into an affirmative space. And that is intentionally ambiguous. The idea is just to bring yourself into a space and maybe find some words for yourself, whatever that is. It could be I am worthy, I am enough. Maybe it's just may I do my best, or may I just be here. Connect to this breath, this body. And as you continue to listen to your body today and your mind, you're invited to bring your awareness right to the crown of your head, right to the top of your head. You're invited just to soften. Soften your forehead, your eyes, your ears. Soften your jaw. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Relax your upper arms and your lower arms, all the way down through the tips of your fingers. Soften your chest and your heart space. Relax your belly and your hips. Relax your upper legs, your lower legs. All the way down through the soles of your feet. Just relax your whole body here. invite yourself into that place of surrender, place of calm, place of peace. There's nothing left for you to do here. Simply to just arrive, just to be. Gently start to bring your awareness back into your body. Start to tune back into your breath, taking fuller, deeper breaths as you arrive back into the space. Begin to invite in some gentle movements into your body. Maybe you wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can rock your hips from side to side, just arriving right back here. Together, just as we started, we'll take another one of those deep breaths where we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, taking a deep breath in and let it all out. And whenever you're ready, you're welcome to gently flutter your eyes open, start to take in the light and the space. If you're lying down, you can choose to hang out there for a little while, or you can slowly press yourself up to a seated position. And just take this final moment for yourself. Just honor yourself for joining this session today, for honoring your wellness journey, your self-care, your education, whatever that may be for you. Just bring some gratitude to yourself, to your body, to your breath. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Mackenzie.
I'm gonna go take a nap now. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your talent and your heart with us today. So how can people work with you?
How can you work with me? Great. So you can find me on I'm Blue Flow Sound, the color Blue Flow Sound. You can find me on Instagram or blueflowsound.com. Reach out to me.
Right. And they can book individual sessions?
Yes, I take one-on-one private sessions where we can work virtually. And then if you're in the Chicago area, I've got a lot of group sessions available you can check out.
Great. Well, I'll be sure to provide the information for that. And can you turn off that one little microphone? Awesome. I was just hearing myself double time. But thank you everyone that attended today. It really means the world for us to be able to share our talents and our expressions, and yeah, so from the heart. And if you're interested, I would like to invite you to my world as well. Katie and I are kind of combining, but you're welcome to book sessions with me too. But even bigger, we have opened up the doors to club access inside of My Sōlchemy. And this has been years of my own adventures and experiences being both an entrepreneur and just a human that's needed healing. And I've combined the worlds so people can really step into their highest human potential and bring out that untapped potential into the world so you can really live a life of purpose and in alignment with your highest abundant realities. So inside the club, you will have access to group healing sessions, hypnotherapy, but we're also providing a lot of practical steps for you as well. So the things that you need to be able to get yourself from A to B and B to Z, whatever that might be, I invite you in. We really want to see people excel in the way that things are being presented to us, not presented, sorry. I'm like sleeping from that, Katie. But the modalities that we have available to us now are outdated, and we really have to start getting outside the box. And in order to reach our goals, we have to take a look at our energy and also expand our consciousness. And people are waking up to these truths. So I'm here to help guide you through this process. And I will be sure to leave information for that. That's at mysōlchemy.com. And you can reach out to me anytime, LinkedIn, or at my email, which I will be sure to provide to everyone who is on this call. So we'll leave it there. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, but we will end the session right there. So thanks again, everyone.